Chapter 2. You gape at Channing and the rest of the Alpha Tau, freshly transformed into hulking, snarling wolves. I can't believe this. Werewolves are real. I'm looking right at one. Channing's red to black, hackles raise. He pads around like a beast circling its prey. You're werewolves. I'm dreaming, right? This can't be real. His laugh is a low rumble in your mind. This is no hallucination, Tal. We've just opened your eyes to reality. Continues circling you on silent paw as you stand stock still, your shoulders drawn back. How can I hear you in my mind? If he can read my thoughts, then I'm gonna have to keep my dirty ones all on a short leash. As if noticing your concern, his voice laughs quietly in the chamber of your mind. It's pack telepathy. And don't worry, it only goes both ways if both people want to share their thoughts with each other. But I could hear you communicate directly with the pack during our first meeting. She could, but that's only possible if you're... Enough. There's some things Tal needs to figure out for herself. Sounds like they're hiding something important. Why can't they just tell me everything up front? This is a pretty big decision. I'm guessing telepathy won't be added to my tool belt until after the blood moon. Whatever that is. It's a test of worthiness, strength, and endurance. If you pass, you join our pack of hunters. And if I fail? There's a chance you could go feral. Lost to your humanity. You'd become a mere beast, dangerous to yourself and others. In which the pack will be forced to put you down. I'm not scared. He sniffs the air as if trying to smell the fear on you. He growls quietly. Get on board or don't. You have until tomorrow morning to make your decision. Just one night? Get real. I take more time than that to decide what I'm having for dinner. If you're serious about this, then you'd best start taking me seriously too. We are taking you seriously. I trusted you enough to reveal our secret. This isn't something you can make a pro or con list about. You have to feel it in your gut. Having more time won't help you. With a toss of his head, Channing's form begins to shift. You watch with morbid fascination as he transforms back. Muscles twist, flesh seems to grow in fast motion over thick, wiry fur until Channing appears before you, human and unclothed. Does that happen every time? You fight back the urge to check out his muscled body. Clearly noticing this, he smirks. You'll have to hang around to find out. With a wink, he whistles for the pack, and they all head back to the party like nothing ever happened. The warm glow of the Alpha House welcomes you back, and you find Asher and Lupe outside by the pool. So were you not just gonna tell me that you were all werewolves? We weren't trying to trick you, it's just pack rules. We have to keep a pretty tight-lipped when it comes to prospective initiates, especially with outsiders. Got it. If you know you're an outsider, then why the hell are you still here? Lupe rolls her eyes and Asher scowls as a sneering fat bro muscles into your conversation. You bristle. You don't know the first thing about me. I know enough. You'll flame out before the blood moon. We'll have to clean up what's left of your mess. Quit trying to intimidate her, Randy. Yeah, Channing chose her for a reason. The Alpha Tau named Randy looks at you with nothing but contempt. There's no rule saying the Alpha can never be wrong. As Randy turns and melts into the crowd, you heave a sigh. Thanks for that. But that lizard didn't bother me. Good, and don't let the others bother you either. Channing's the Alpha, and he chose you for a reason. Anything or thought scientists had debunked the whole alpha thing. Maybe for your run-of-the-mill wolves, but it's totally a thing in werewolf society. And Channing's about as capital A alpha as it gets. He's got guts, charisma, animal magnetism it takes to do the job. Not to mention he comes from a long line of powerful alphas. That explains why everyone listens to him. If there's one rule that's hardwired in a werewolf biology, it's obey the alpha. And here I thought he was just bossy and intimidating for fun. Is this poor innocent human Channing seduced into joining the pack? The good-looking guy joins your group, sliding his arms around Asher's shoulders. If I were you, I'd back out now. Once you fall for a werewolf, it's impossible to get away. Hey, Tal. This is Cal, my genius pre-med companion. Basically a human with latent werewolf abilities who chose to remain human. But I prefer boyfriend over a companion any day. Companion, huh? Why would you stay human? No offense, but how can you know that potential's inside you and choose not to act on it? Hey, no offense taken. I get it's not the most popular choice, but I'm happy with the life the way it is. Plus the pack needs at least one level-headed human to patch them up when they get into fights with Kodiak bears. It's a grizzly bear and it was one time. You laugh and shake your head, stirring the plastic red cup in your hand. This feels like it should be a dream, but it's real. Everything that happened tonight is real. You turn to see Channing across the yard, yellow, gold eyes locked on you. He smirks, gives you a wink, and then slips through the crowd and back inside. Hey, I'll see y'all later. I think it's time I had a snout-to-snout with this so-called alpha. With each step you take towards the house, you feel a sense of outrage building inside. He might be hot as hell, but he also threw me into an absurd situation. Why should I make a life-altering decision by midnight? You find him in a corner of the living room, undisturbed by the other alphas. You scowl at him as you approach. Miss me already? Furious, you look at the scattered food and snacks for something to throw at him. This is a waste of food. Slice of pizza, takeout container, a whole burger. I'll just throw the container. Hopefully it has no food in it. He sees a container of Chinese food and chuck it at his head. He dodges it swiftly and then it explodes on the wall behind him, making a mess. If you're gonna join Alpha Tau, you should know we have a strict no food wasting policy. You snarl and surge forward. His smirk fades as his back hits the wall. Why me? Tau. No, damn it, why me? Why'd you pick me to rush? I didn't even know werewolves existed before tonight. Maybe not, but you clearly have them in your bloodline. Quit talking to me in my mind, you... Hang on. How do you know I have werewolves in my bloodline? For one thing, you can hear me when I'm broadcasting my thoughts telepathically. Then there's your reflexes, your obvious temper, and you've got one hell of an arm, Tal. Your shoulders sag as the anger drains from your body. He touches your shoulder and you sink into the touch unconsciously as he speaks out loud. I know you're overwhelmed. If you want, we could go somewhere private and talk. I'll answer any questions you want. You meet his gaze, feeling more drawn to him than ever as his thumb begins tracing slow circles against your collarbone. Throughout the book, you'll make certain choices to peek inside a detective world of werewolves. Making the right choice will help you integrate with the pack later on. Follow Channing. You follow him upstairs into a private lounge accessible only to Alpha. The room is warm, cozy, with deep, overstuffed couches and bookshelves lined with ancient leather-bound tomes. Must be nice to be the boss. It has its perks. He flashes a smirk, and you roll your eyes. I'd ask you if you were always this arrogant, but I already know the answer. I prefer self-assured. You have to be a pack's alpha. You wander slowly around the perimeter of the room, inspecting books, artifacts. He follows you from a safe distance at first. Whoa. Your gaze falls on an open, rusty animal trap placed on one of the low tables. Is it real? Unthinkably, you reach out to touch the trap, and his hand blocks yours. His fingers wrap gently around your wrist. I can think of a lot of things you can do with that hand. It'd be a shame if you lost it. It's still spring-loaded? Why do you even have this? His grip tightens almost imperceptibly around your wrist, and you glance at his face. He looks grim. I keep it as a reminder of the time a werewolf hunter tried to kill me. Your blood chills as the image of Channing, his leg caught in a trap, comes to mind. You shift closer to him and put your free hand over his. That sounds awful. He startles a bit at your gentle touch, his gaze warm and searching as it meets yours, but he quickly pulls away. It's an occupational hazard, one of the perks of being the boss. You mean the alpha? How'd you get the title? I know you're genetically predisposed or whatever, but there has to have been some process. The alpha before me graduated when I was a freshman. I won the competition to replace her. As a freshman? Impressive. Glad to hear something about me finally impresses you. But seriously, it takes a special combination of smarts and strength to lead a pack. Luckily, I have both. You step around the room, studying your surroundings. He lopes slowly in perfect sync with your movements. You do orbit each other for a while before you speak up again. And what if the pack is threatened? I mean, it can't just be all parties and hanging out in the forest. What if someone gets hurt? The alpha isn't just a leader. They're also a protector, the guiding force for the pack. If anything happens to the pack, that's on me. I need to be strong for them. Weakness is not an option. His nostrils flare as he goes still again. You sidle up slowly beside him, pretending to be examining the books on his shelf. Of all the words I could use to describe you, weak is not one of them. Are you flirting with me? No, I'm just saying. It sounds like you have a lot of riding on your shoulders. You spy a book on a high shelf that looks interesting, and reach up to pluck it from the shelf, only for a few others to come toppling down right on top of you. With lightning-fast reflexes, he catches the book that's about to hit you in the face. He looms over you smirking, pressed so close you can smell the intoxicating scent. I'm starting to think it was a mistake inviting you in here. That's not what, the look on your face says. You shift closer, narrowing the distance between you, and his eyes darken before he puts the errant books back on the shelf. I invited you here to talk about your potential, but it seems like all you want to do is talk about being an alpha. It sounds lonely. He cocks his head at you, smiling sinuously, and before you can process it, he slides his hand up your thigh. Do you really think I'm hurting for company when I seek it out? Despite the surge of heat flaring up in your belly, you keep your expression as even as you can manage. That's not the same as someone to share your burdens with, to share yourself with. I can't imagine carrying that responsibility alone. He regards you, sizing you up, and finally removes his hand from your leg, leaving a sizzle of static electricity behind. I'm used to it. And if keeping everyone safe means I'm a little lonely sometimes, then let's just say it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. But you must feel... Seriously, enough about me. Don't you want to know about the rest of it? Of course I do. But somehow I doubt you have recruitment pamphlets to pass around to your new pups. His deep, warm chuckle fills the room. No pamphlets, but since you're new to all this, I think reading some of our history would be helpful. He reaches over you, his scent overpowering you for a moment, to pull an ancient-looking book from the shelf above your head. You run your fingers over the dark leather cover, tracing the gold emblem Alpha Tau insignia on the cover. He stands directly behind you, following along over your shoulder. Yay, reading. Alpha Tau's history. Alpha Tau Sigma was founded to provide a safe haven for young werewolves just learning to navigate their new-found abilities. Young werewolves frequently suffer from impulse control, need strong guidance to learn how to live responsibly in both human and werewolf worlds. Impulse control? Sounds dangerous. Young werewolves are mostly a danger to themselves, hence the need for supportive community. Werewolf powers. Werewolf powers begin to emerge between the ages of 18 and 22, coinciding with the typical age of university enrollment. Nascent powers include rudimentary telepathy, increased strength, and enhanced sense of sight, smell, and hearing. Telepathy. That's how I heard you in the clearing. And how I knew you had potential when we met you. You heard me speaking telepathy to the coyote. Only someone with latent werewolf powers could have heard that. Alpha's responsibilities. The Alpha is chosen for strength and leadership abilities, and it is responsible for nurturing a healthy pack atmosphere. The Alpha also leads weekly midnight hunts to protect their territory from outside threats. Outside threats? I don't want to scare you, but the world is filled with far more danger than you know, Tal. Reluctantly, you hand the book back to him. It was a very small book. Even after all this, or before all this, I'd heard about Alpha Tau because of all the eco work you do, but I have to admit, I'm intrigued by the werewolf style. I mean, you get to turn into literal giant wolves, and everyone's so close. My parents are gone. I have no siblings. The idea of having people always looking out for me, I like it. The flicker of sympathy passes along his face as he leans closer to you, touching your hand lightly. We're a family here. Even when we disagree, each and every one of us would risk our lives for our brothers and sisters. The warmth of him, so close to you in this cozy space, is intoxicating. You wonder if there's such a thing as an alpha pheromones. Channing, you want me, right? As a member of the pack. I want you as a whole hell of a lot more than that, but a member of the pack is a good start. My pack is my family, my life. I wouldn't have invited you here if I thought you'd pose a threat to it. And if you're wrong about me? I'm not. I'd be willing to stake my life on that. He hasn't moved from where he was reading over your shoulder. You're distracted by the feeling of his chest against your back, the way your rear keeps skimming against him. Mind out of the gutter, Tal. Don't think I can't hear your heart racing. You turn over your shoulder so your lips are mere inches from his. I get the impression you don't mind my dirty thoughts about you. Not even a little bit, but we do have stuff to talk about. For instance, where do you see yourself fitting into the pack? I see myself blending in. I'm tired of doing that at this point. As a nurturer, I'm tired of doing that at this point. Challenging you for dominance? You'd better watch your back, 'cause I'm coming for you. I'm always up for a little competition. I look forward to tangling with you. Especially after earlier. The memory of your rendezvous in his room makes your heat rise to your face. Whatever you decide, I have no doubt you'll leave your mark on the pack. And have I left a mark on you? A slow smile lights his face. So far, absolutely. I guess this all depends on if I decide to join. Yes, if. Speaking of. He looks at his watch. It's getting late. I'll call a car to take you home. As he leads you to the front door, Kala catches up to you and grabs your shoulder. You really need all that extra time to decide, huh? I'm already in. The pack howls in approval, and Kala basks in the limelight, Channing eyes you and speaks telepathically. Kala is from a werewolf family. She's had a lifetime to decide if she wants to transform or not. Don't feel pressured to choose right now. I'm giving you time to think for a reason. You shrug off Kella's hand and meet the expectant gaze of the Alpha Taus gathered behind her. It was really great meeting you all. This is a big decision, as I'm sure you know. You can't stop yourself from rambling on, and the crowd begins to grumble about your obvious decision. Don't tell me you're actually having trouble choosing. Jennings offer you the chance of a lifetime here. Enough! His angry voice echoes through the room and everyone goes silent as he stares them down. I personally chose Tal, and I will not tolerate any doubt of my decision. Channing, you don't have to baby me. For once, I agree with the outsider. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the consideration, but if it's gonna cause problems, the only problems are the people trying to hassle you for a response. It glares around the room. One by one, the Alpha Taus nod and murmur their apologies. That's what I thought. We'll meet back here bright and early. Everyone get some rest. He leads you out of the house and across the lawn to the idling car, but stops you before you get in. I can't stress this enough, Tal. This is the biggest decision of your life, and yes or no, there's no going back. His gaze is intense, predatory, impossible to break away from. You clear your throat. Channing, be honest with me. Do you want me to join? Yes, I'm sure as an alpha he selected you not to join. Something fiery flashes across his features. He leans close and growls in your ear. What if I told you I demanded? You shiver at his hot breath against your cheek and the husky edge in his voice. I'll take that into consideration. He smirks, fangs gleaming in the dark. You do that. Till tomorrow, new blood. You get into the car, and as it pulls away, you look back to find him standing in the driveway watching you leave, an unreadable expression on his sculpted face. Back home, you're just about to turn the key to your apartment when Marcus' door flies open. Marcus, you scared the hell out of me. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure you got home safe, and to see if you got anything good on Alpha Tau. Were you waiting up all night to ask me that? Well, yeah, and to make sure those alphas didn't lure you out of to the lair and eat you for dinner. Thanks. But I can take care of myself. I know you can. It's not you, it's them I don't trust. Anyway, back to the important stuff. What the hell goes on in that house? Anything juicy? For a moment you consider telling him everything, but Channing and the pack put their trust in you. You can't betray them. It's been a really long day. Let me get some sleep. We can talk in the morning. Close the door before he can ask any more questions. I don't think he's a journalistic reporter. I think he's probably a hunter in, well, wearing a mask. As you lay in bed unable to sleep, your phone suddenly vibrates. You grab it to find a text from an unknown number. It's Channing. Wanted to make sure you made it home safe. Thanks to you, I did. I'm sure you're overwhelmed. I just want you to know that even though the test is dangerous, you won't regret joining Alpha Tau. I've never been afraid of a challenge. I look forward to pushing you to your limits then. Limits aren't really my thing. You'd be surprised how much I can handle without breaking. I don't think there's anything about you that would surprise me. How'd you get my number anyway? Are you stalking me? If you're going to be one of us, you're my responsibility. I have to keep track of my people. You're very sure of yourself. Have to be, Alpha, remember? Good night, Tal. Good night. With a sigh, you turn out the lights, but as you fall asleep, your subconscious churns with thoughts of Channing. You feel soft grass under your feet and discover you're back in the Alpha Taus clearing in the forest. Can't stop thinking about me, can you? You whirl around to find him leaning against a tree, a wolfish grin curling his lips. Apparently not, and it's really annoying. Even my own mind won't let me forget you. Do you want to forget me? Not a chance. He laughs and shrugs off his suit jacket, and all of it tears his shirt from his body. You stifle a gasp as the hard perfection of his abs, the bulge of his sub-biceps, and the way his pants ride low on his hips. Well, since we're here, how about we take advantage of the moonlight? With a wicked grin, he backs away, hooking his finger at you, daring you to follow. Oh look, a diamond choice. Follow Channing. Feeling a magnetic pull towards Channing, you follow him to a meadow dappled in moonlight. You find yourself discarding your own clothing as you walk without even really thinking about him. Damn. His ravenous gaze rakes over your curves of your exposed chest, waist, thighs. He smirks, flashing a fang. Fully exposed for me, exactly how I want you to be. And I didn't even have to ask. Are you allowed to be this pervy in my dream? Your smile flickers and you feel your body temperature rise as he begins stalking closer. It is your dream, Tal. That means you choose where, when, and how of what comes next. In that case, let's start with the where. Channing takes your hand, leading you to the center of the clearing. You scan your surroundings for the perfect spot. We should stay under the moon. In a swift, surprisingly gentle movement, he pulls you into his arms and lays you down on the soft grass. Whoa. He shushes you and angles his hips so he's looming over you, strong arms bracketing you on either side. Relax, I won't bite. Not here, anyway. The moon, bright evening, illuminates you both in the sparkling silver light. Still, He cut you off with a brush of his lips to yours, his mouth traveling south to nip at your chin, your jaw, your ear. His hand slides possessively down the curve of your ass and presses you hard against him. None of this is real, remember? That means you have me however you want me. No rules, no limitations. He whispers against the shell of your ear with a feral edge to his voice that spikes your blood with arousal. I can have anything I want? Anything. Just say the word. I want you to make it rough. With a growl, he flips you over, pulls you back against the solid wall of his body. He grips the nape of your neck and pulls, exposing your slender skin to his sharp teeth. His other hand drags down your stomach until it finds the spot of need between your legs. Is this what you want? You arch into him, desperate for your hard touch of his fingers, even through your clothing. Yeah. Your world spirals down into the feel of his mouth on your neck, the grip of his hands on your skin. It makes a sound that's caught somewhere between a moan and a guttural growl. Say my name, Tal. His teeth, lips, his clever hands, they all tease you mercilessly as you shiver underneath him. It's too much and yet nowhere near enough. Channing, what are you waiting for? And if you're here and you can't help but surrender to him. I am your alpha, you don't make demands of me, but... It was short, sweet, and over. You've got one hell of an imagination, Tal. Still breathless, all you do is laugh. I just hope this is a reoccurring dream. He nips lightly at your chin. I'm in your head now. When you close your eyes, all you have to do is think of me and I'll be there. Channing, As you reach up to caress his face, the light around you fades and you drift into a soft fog of sleep. Bang. Your door abruptly slams open, shocking you awake. What the... But before you can see the invader's rough hand seize you and pull a hood over your head, plunging you into darkness. Let me go, or I'll kick your ass. You throw punches and kicks at your captors, but it's useless. They're too strong, and you're quickly overpowered. You hear a man's laughter, followed by a woman's familiar voice. Be quiet. I'm not gonna hurt you. Lupe? Asher, is that you? They don't answer. With a stifled snort, you're tossed over someone's shoulder and carried away. After a dark car ride, the hood is yanked open off your head. You're on your knees in the common room, surrounded by the pack. Channing squats down before you, that familiar smirk curling the corners of your mouth. It's almost dawn, Tal. Time to choose. Go back to your mundane life, or join me as a member of my pack. You breathe deeply, scanning each face in the crowd as you make the most momentous decision of your life. I think you know what to do. Trust your gut. I've decided. I think this is my destiny. He grins, revealing his wicked, sharp teeth. Oh, I know it is. The pack lets out a wild catacomb cheers while Channing runs a slow, possessive finger down the length of your cheek. Welcome to the pack, Tal. You notice Cal off to the side, arms crossed and leaning against the fireplace. That's only if she manages to survive. You're so lost in the feeling of his hands on you, you barely register her meaning. You may well have the most exciting days of your life ahead of you, but they could also be your last. Well, that's it. Pretty much thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down in the description of the video. Plenty of things to check out, ways to support this channel and this community. It'd be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, please leave your comments and thoughts down in the comments section below. I'll be glad to read them and reply back to them. Thank you again for watching. Goodbye.